I know, right? Hey, welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We're live at the Keystone Art Festival. Our next artist we get to talk to, Dara Burriss, and she is, I don't know how, Dara, how you'd explain your artwork. How would you talk about it? When people look at it, what do you say?
I think it's really colorful and
it is very
whimsical.
Colorful.
It's whimsical. And
it's fun.
It's
happy.
Yes, I like color.
And let's talk, like, there's no other artwork like this here. You don't see this very often. So, like, where did it all come from? Like, where did you start getting into art? Were you an art major in college?
So I was an art major in college,
Okay.
yeah, at UT, and then I ended up getting married in college, and I had to finish up quickly. So I have an art history degree, but I've studied and done all different kinds of art. I did oil paintings and landscapes and portraiture and watercolor. And about 8 years ago, actually, I started making large abstracts for clients. I was doing interior design, and so it kind of just progressed. Like, it took a little while for me to figure out how to do it differently than everybody else was doing, and I don't know if anybody else is doing it this way. I paint them flat, and I pull them into the shapes that I want, but I do it while listening to fun music. So.
And it looks, there's almost a little three-dimensional stuff going on with them too. That's what I'm pulling out of some of them. Yeah. Some of them I put a resin on, just because I don't love the texture on some of them. But then if I do love the texture, I keep it just so it has that fun tactile quality to it. Now, we talked off camera also about your inspiration for the names of your paintings and your artwork, and we're both obviously enamored with 80s music.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah.
And by reading some of the names of some of your songs, you are too. How did that work? So you listen to music when you paint, and that's kind of where it comes from?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to name your pieces, like, after a little while. It gets kind of tiring. And so I think it was about 5 years ago that I started, like, I did a week where I named everything after music I'd listened to, and I mainly listened to 80s music. My mom was a jazzercise instructor as I was growing up.
Even better, perfect.
Yeah, so I was always,
I
always had the 80s music in my, in the background at my house. So I love it, and sometimes I'm listening to movies, but usually 80s movies. So I named them all.
John Hughes movies, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
This is pretty funny.
Exactly.
We're over here.
Yeah.
I love this.
No, but I want it to be something fun, like a fun song, and then I want it to apply. So every single one of them, it was a song that came on while I was painting. And usually that's a couple hours worth of songs, and so I just pull whatever one. So
then how long does it take you to, let's just say, for example, for this piece of artwork, like how long does it take for you to get from start to finish?
Well, they're acrylics, and so acrylics dry quickly. Right. So I kind of plan it out, and I kind of just think, what I'm going to do with it, and it's usually started with color, like whatever colors I'm feeling that day. And then as I'm painting it, it only takes, the smaller pieces take a couple hours.
Okay.
And then the bigger ones, they can take a really long time.
But like when you go into it, do you have an outcome in your mind, or it just morphs in a direction on its own?
I usually, like, once I've picked the colors, I just start kind of pulling it into the shapes that I was thinking.
And then like you start to visualize.
And then I start looking at the composition and then pulling it into what feels right to me.
Do you dance when you paint?
I don't. I don't.
Depends on the song. That 80s music.
I sing as I paint, and I have a terrible singing voice.
Little Hall & Oates in your head, maybe, and you're just kind of doing your thing.
Madonna, Michael, all those people. I know.
So you're here at the Art Festival in Keystone. You're going to be in Beaver Creek next weekend.
I am. I'm in Beaver Creek next weekend.
And then Frisco the following weekend.
I'm not Frisco. Okay. I have to get back for the kids to go to school.
Well, that's right. School's already back in session in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We're close to that. We're in the Dallas area.
If people want to find out more about your artwork, is there a website they can visit?
They can. It's dburrissart.com, and then my Instagram is really the best way to find my newest pieces that are out, and that's dburriss. Burriss.
I love it, Dara. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks.
Pleasure to see you.
Thanks.
Another fan of the 80s right here. You can't beat it. It's nice. Have fun at the Art Festival. Stop by and check out Dara's great work, and she'll be in Beaver Creek next weekend for the Beaver Creek Arts Festival. We're taking a break from Good Morning Vail, then we have a look at that weather forecast and more from Keystone. We'll be right back.